Welcome to World Updates Hub. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The world's attention is fixed on the Philippines, a nation that has suddenly found itself at the very center of global headlines. From bustling newsrooms in New York and London, to television screens in Tokyo and Paris, the Philippines is now a focal point of international concern and debate. Headlines warn of rising tensions in Southeast Asia, with the South China Sea dispute dominating front pages and news tickers. The world watches anxiously as the situation grows more volatile by the day, with every new development dissected by analysts and experts. US and allied warships converge near Philippine waters, their presence a clear message to China. The arrival of these powerful fleets signals a dramatic escalation as nations rally to support the Philippines and uphold freedom of navigation in these contested seas. These are not routine patrols. They're a show of force, a gathering of naval power not seen here in decades. The coordinated maneuvers, the synchronized movements of ships from different nations, all serve as a warning. The world will not stand idly by. The Philippines, perched at the edge of the South China Sea, is now the front line of a global standoff. Its location places it at the crossroads of international trade and military strategy, making it a critical player in this unfolding drama. Warships from the US, Japan, Australia, the UK, France and Canada conduct joint exercises with Filipino forces. These unprecedented drills demonstrate unity and resolve as allies train together to respond to any threat and to reassure the region that they stand together. Each incident, Chinese water cannons, blocked resupply missions, adds fuel to the fire broadcast worldwide. The images of confrontation at sea, of Filipino vessels under pressure, have sparked outrage and concern, further intensifying the spotlight on the region. The international community is responding with more than words. Their most powerful ships now patrol these contested waters. The presence of these fleets is a tangible demonstration of commitment, a signal that the world is prepared to defend the rules-based order. Why here? The Philippines sits astride vital sea lanes, making it a strategic prize in the rivalry between China and the world. Over a third of global shipping passes through these waters, carrying trillions of dollars in trade. Whoever controls these routes holds immense economic and strategic power. The Western Islands, like Palawan, are now the focus of this dispute. Once known for their natural beauty and rich fishing grounds, these islands have become flashpoints, where local fishermen and military patrols share the waters with foreign warships. China's growing assertiveness has triggered this unprecedented naval buildup. Satellite images reveal new bases, more ships, and increased military activity as Beijing seeks to cement its claims and expand its influence across the region. For the Philippines and its allies, this is a defining moment to defend the international order. Military leaders meet in urgent strategy sessions, while sailors and officers stand ready on deck, aware that their actions could shape the future of the region for generations. The stakes have never been higher. As the sun sets over the warships at sea, the world holds its breath, knowing that what happens here will echo far beyond these waters, shaping the balance of power in the 21st century. The South China Sea is more than a blue patch on the map, it's a global superhighway. One-third of world shipping, worth over $3 trillion annually, passes through these waters. It's a lifeline for energy, with most of Asia's oil and gas imports flowing through its straits. Any disruption here would send shockwaves through the global economy. The sea is also a vital fishing ground, feeding millions and supporting coastal communities. Militarization and disputes threaten both livelihoods and food security. Beneath the waves lie untapped reserves of oil and gas, a magnet for competition. For the Philippines, these resources could transform its economy. For China, control means energy security and regional dominance. China claims nearly the entire South China Sea, overlapping with the zones of its neighbors. It's built artificial islands, now military outposts, far from its own shores. These unsinkable carriers let China project power deep into Southeast Asia. China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to harass other nations' vessels, pushing the limits without triggering war. Filipino fishermen are chased from their own waters. Resupply missions face water cannons and lasers. These gray zone tactics alarm the world, challenging the rules-based order. The US, Japan, and others see this as a direct threat to freedom of navigation. If unchecked, China's actions could set a dangerous global precedent. In 2013, the Philippines made a bold move on the world stage. Instead of resorting to military confrontation, it chose to challenge China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea through legal means, invoking the authority of international law. This was a significant decision, as it placed faith in global institutions rather than the might of arms, and set a precedent for smaller nations standing up to more powerful neighbors. After years of careful deliberation, the tribunal at The Hague delivered its landmark ruling in 2016. The judges declared that China's so-called nine-dash line, which claimed nearly the entire South China Sea, had no legal foundation under international law. Furthermore, the court found that China's artificial island-building activities had violated the Philippines' sovereign rights, especially in areas rich in resources and vital to Filipino fishermen. The decision was celebrated in Manila as a historic victory for the rule of law. However, China flatly rejected the tribunal's verdict, dismissing it as illegitimate and politically motivated. Instead of backing down, China intensified its activities in the disputed waters, increasing patrols and continuing construction on artificial islands. This defiance underscored the limits of international law when confronted by a powerful nation unwilling to comply. The Philippines, despite having a clear legal victory, found itself unable to enforce the ruling on its own. Its Navy and Coast Guard were simply no match for China's vast maritime forces. Filipino fishermen continued to face harassment, and the country's sovereignty remained under threat. This is where the importance of international alliances becomes clear. Recognizing the stakes, the Philippines turned to its allies for support, seeking both diplomatic backing and a stronger security presence in the region. The United States, Australia, Japan, and several European nations have all cited the tribunal's ruling as the legal foundation for their involvement. By standing together, these countries send a message that international law must be respected, and that smaller nations are not alone in defending their rights. Freedom of navigation operations conducted by allied navies directly challenge China's expansive claims. These missions are not just about military presence, they are a demonstration of commitment to upholding international law and ensuring that the world's oceans remain open to all. The ongoing patrols by Allied warships near contested areas like Scarborough Shoal are a tangible effort to enforce the court's decision. These actions aim to deter further aggression and reassure regional partners that the international community stands behind them. At its core, the South China Sea dispute is a dramatic standoff between the principles of law and the realities of power. The world is witnessing a test of whether international rules can truly restrain the ambitions of great powers. As tensions continue to simmer, the eyes of the world remain fixed on the region, waiting to see whether justice or might will ultimately prevail in this high-stakes contest. The Philippines is not alone. A global coalition has stepped up. The U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty is a powerful deterrent, backed by repeated American assurances. Japan and Australia have deepened defense ties, providing ships, training, and joint patrols. South Korea supplies modern military hardware, boosting Philippine capabilities. Even European powers now send warships, declaring the South China Sea a global concern. This united front amplifies diplomatic pressure on China. Support includes intelligence sharing, capacity building, and high-level condemnation of coercion. Joint drills are visible, but behind-the-scenes cooperation is just as vital. The Philippines now stands with the world in a test of principle. Facing new threats, the Philippines is rapidly modernizing its military. The focus has shifted from internal security to defending its territory at sea and in the air. New frigates, missile boats, and patrol vessels now guard its vast coastline. The Air Force has acquired modern jets to patrol the skies. Joint exercises with allies, like the annual Balikatan drills, build skills and interoperability. U.S. access to Philippine bases boosts rapid response capability. Investments in radar, drones, and communications create a layered defense. The goal: make any aggression costly and difficult for any adversary. To understand China's stance, you must see its historical narrative. Beijing claims ancient ties to the South China Sea, citing old maps and texts. China sees itself as reclaiming lost territory, not as an aggressor. U.S. and allied patrols are framed as foreign interference and containment. China calls its island building defensive, protecting sea lanes and national interests. For Beijing, backing down would be a sign of weakness, a matter of national pride. This clash of history versus international law makes compromise elusive. Beyond geopolitics, the conflict hits home for Filipino fishermen and sailors. Once rich fishing grounds are now patrolled by Chinese ships, catches have dwindled, and poverty deepens. Every resupply mission to outposts like Second Thomas Shoal is fraught with danger. Coast Guard and Navy crews face daily risks under orders to avoid escalation. Yet this pressure has forged national unity and resolve. Public support for defending Philippine waters is stronger than ever. Allied warships bring relief and hope, not fear. For Filipinos, this is about dignity, livelihood, and the right to their own seas. The courage of those on the front lines inspires a nation. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, with the world watching closely as events unfold. Its strategic location and growing importance have placed it at the heart of a rapidly changing region, where the balance of peace and power is being tested like never before. Every decision made here echoes far beyond its shores, influencing the future of Asia and the world. The best hope for the region lies in de-escalation, a commitment to dialogue, the establishment of a binding code of conduct, and the creation of clear rules that all parties can agree upon. Only through open communication and peaceful management of disputes can lasting stability be achieved. Diplomatic efforts, though challenging, remain the most effective path forward. Yet, the risk of miscalculation is ever present. In these tense waters, a single misunderstanding or accidental encounter could quickly spiral out of control, sparking a conflict that no one truly desires. The stakes are high, and the margin for error is slim. A direct clash could draw in the world's two superpowers, the United States and China, leading to catastrophic consequences not just for the region, but for the entire globe. The ripple effects of such a confrontation would be felt in every corner of the world, disrupting economies and threatening global security. However, what is more likely is a tense, prolonged standoff, a situation marked by constant vigilance, military posturing, and ongoing uncertainty. This uneasy peace, where tensions simmer just below the surface, may persist for years, shaping the daily lives of those who call these waters home. Regional nations, especially the Philippines, must walk a delicate tightrope, balancing deep economic ties with China against vital security partnerships with the West. Every trade deal, every diplomatic meeting, and every military exercise is a careful calculation, weighing prosperity against protection. Today, the Philippines has become the stage for a global contest over the future of the international order. The choices made here will influence not only regional dynamics but also the broader principles that govern relations between nations worldwide. The world now asks, will law and cooperation prevail, setting a precedent for peaceful resolution and mutual respect? Or will might make right, with power and coercion dictating the rules of engagement? The answer to these questions is being written, day by day, in the waters of the West Philippine Sea. Here, every patrol, every negotiation, and every act of defiance or diplomacy adds a new chapter to this unfolding story. Ultimately, the courage of the Philippines and the resolve of its allies will shape not just the future of Asia, but the future of peace and power in our interconnected world. The eyes of history are watching, and the decisions made now will echo for generations to come.